to the Saturday morning program Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. That's where we strengthen the bonds that we share as Dominicans. We have a guest as usual. Today is the last Saturday in the month of March. Look at that already, eh? There's a heat on the outside though. Slight rain this morning. We have had some rain in the week. Welcome rain, of course. The flu season is still around. The Kawem season is here. There's a cool breeze blowing. Nice atmosphere. Nigel, come a while. Look, I am not here. Nigel, yes, what is wrong?
I'm here now. Yeah. I was closing the window, but I am here. What's up?
Well, I am here myself, Nigel. I'm ready to go. Nice vibes this morning.
Nice weather, nice breeze blowing.
Yeah, man. It's a nice atmosphere in DA. The Commonwealth is bubbling with activities. We had a little rain again this morning. We had some rain in the week, but today I think it's gonna be hot. I'll serve as a meteorologist, a weather forecaster. Yeah, it's gonna be hot today. A nice heat, though. A nice heat, yes, a nice heat.
Today is a good day to go take a river bath.
Yes, I tell you, Nigel. And there's also netball action in Doominica, Nigel. Netball action. The Beaupierre under 16 Caribbean netball tournament is on this afternoon, and the event will begin with a parade from the Dame Junior Charles Boulevard, that's the Bayfront, and we'll go on to the Winter Park Stadium, and DBS will be on top of the action. So big netball action in DA.
Nice. You used to play netball? You played netball?
No, Papa. No. I tried something long ago, very long ago, Nigel, probably in first form or second form, and then I realized, but I never really liked sports.
You realize that's not for you?
No. I mean, I like the uniform, and that's one of the reasons I went to the... Nigel, leave me alone. Yeah, but never played it like competitive netball, no. But I love to look at the game. I like the short skirts, and the...
Yeah, me too.
But
but it's at least you tried, so that's the good thing about it.
Yes.
And now you can enjoy looking at it and possibly, bringing some commentaries. You never know, right?
You never know. I tried a thing in the past, so. But, so netball is on, Nigel. Also, the men's national football team, they left for St. Lucia to play the final match in the CONCACAF Nations League. So we wish them well. I think the game is on Monday. So we wish them well.
Yes, certainly so. We're hoping for good results for them, and that they can showcase the talent and they can, make us proud.
Make us proud. That's what, yeah, man.
Make us proud. Make us proud.
Also, Nigel, there's a virtual tribute carded for later today. A virtual tribute in the memory of Dr. Alvin Bully. I'm not sure if you're playing a part in that. I guess you are in some way.
Yes, I am.
Whether it's to view it and cheer on, and remember those days.
Yes, it's at 7 o'clock this evening.
Yes.
Yes, virtual tribute to Dr. Alvin Bully from members of the People's Action Theatre. So, special good morning to Gloria and to Ra Peters and to Severin McKenzie and Ernestine
Albert Panman-Gellot as well is
Albert Panman-Gellot and all those who've been meeting to get it going. So that's going to be at 7 o'clock this evening. Virtual tribute. So be part of it and celebrate.
Yeah, man. And so many wonderful plays all in would have written. So let's support this.
And so all the former members, or as many as can be, will be part of that. Slash Banners, good morning to you. Levi Loblack, good morning. All those, Norrin Joseph and Duncan Stowe and all those who formed part of PAT at one point. You get Lennox Rocks, good morning to you. So all those who formed part of PAT at one point or the other, Curtis Clarendon and all the rest.
Yeah, man. That's at that time, theatre was on a high in DA.
Oh,
yes. Happening.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely so. And I think, I mean, we can't forget the popular radio series, radio serial, you know, Green
Green
Gold.
Gold and Go
You know,
Bear.
I mean, yes. And then during the Lenten retreat, people would either leave or stay outside and listen to a section
That's
before
true.
they ran into the Lenten
That's true,
retreat.
Nigel. Yes.
You know?
That's
yes,
true.
so Green Gold was one of the massive ones. You know, all the other plays that almost able to come through, you know, Nightbox, Rule on Hyruna, you know, Folk Nativity, Fantastic, so many.
A lot.
That it's only fitting that, you know, that virtual tribute is being done this evening by those who are associated with him, you know, in that group.
Yeah. Also, this evening, but even before I mention this evening, Nigel, we have to talk about a little about Alec Athanas, you know, and Kevin Hodge as well. But Alec Athanas has been doing some, just showing his form in cricket. Brilliant form, by the way. And it's still unfortunate. I mean, yes, we are happy that he was called to the West Indies to play against South Africa, but we want to see him play on the field, you know, and score runs.
Yes.
Because he has been scoring. He has been scoring.
Yeah. It's just confusing. It's amazing how the West Indies do their thing.
Yeah, man.
You have this young man selected, but yet still you have an all-rounder batting at number 3.
Yes.
When you have this young man who is prolific in scoring and batting, and you have him sitting there up there in Australia. So it's just, I mean, in South Africa, it's just crazy how the West Indies do their thing.
I really don't understand.
First you had Kevin Hodge, you brought him, never played him, and then he continues to score runs, and he and Ali getting the 100, 100 apiece, you know, scoring those centuries in the last game there, or the ongoing game against the Leewards. And you wonder, well, what more do we need to do, man? What more do we have to do to open up the doors for us?
I don't know. I don't know if he starts.
I just don't know.
I don't know if he starts his bamboozling, you know, the selectors.
Yes.
But it should not. I mean, when you see stats like that, you know, under 19, Dream 11, regional first-class cricket, ODI, T20, you have to run with this and say, yeah, this guy is ready.
I mean, from the youth team, I mean, when he was, you know, West Indies youth team and what he did out there in India back then, and then came back, dropped him, and then, you know, still having him, both he and Kevin just there waiting.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe we have to have a walk. Maybe we need to protest. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe we need to do something drastic for them to realize.
We have to. I mean, for too long we have been taking this. This is what? Insularity still, Nigel?
It has to be. It has to be. And then, you know, and then when West Indies plays in Doominica, they have the largest following, the biggest fans come out and support, and you get the greatest reception ever, and we keep supporting the team regardless of, you know, and yet still we just can't get that key to open that door.
I don't know. I just cannot understand what is happening. Nigel, we may have to claim reparations for insularity, eh?
Well, we'll have to do something. We'll have to find some other unconventional way.
Yeah, we have to do something
to get them to recognize the talents. You know.
Yeah, I mean? Man. The Commonwealth can spearhead that effort. You know.
Yes. You know, it happened to Irving back then, and you know, happened to Delvin Esprit back then. And it happened to, you know, Jelvin. So many cricketers, Dominican cricketers that could have been on the West Indies team. And, you know, was not selected. And then when they're selected, they sit in the dressing room and watch what's going on.
And watch what's going on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mentioned
Haynes and the rest of the selectors, captain, get your act together.
Yeah, man, get your act together. And I mentioned reparations earlier, Nigel. Talking about that today, I think is International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. That's a long way. But anyway, today is being observed as that.
Yes, well, we can just say today is the International Day and we come for a granny change.
Yes.
That makes it, you know, short.
I like that.
Yes. Yes, today we're coming for a granny change and, you know, it's time to pay up.
Time to pay up, man. The slave trade really had devastating effects in Africa. So we want something, man. We want something.
We want something.
How serious are we, though, about this now? Reparations,
well,
that's the other thing.
I think one of the concerns, I guess, people, or one of the issues is that, again, because we don't teach our history in our schools, you know, and even when we do, we don't have the link between the past and the present.
Yeah.
So that, you know, quite often we seem to know something happened. You know, I mean, there was slavery, it happened, and that was it. But we haven't yet taught our people that, you know, because of slavery, that's why we are. Well, not really because of it, but one of the reasons why we're in the conditions that we are is because of slavery and because of slavery, what they did to us and what they stole from us and what they took from us. I mean, they stole a lot. And it's only fair that we, you know, get back some of what was taken.
Oh, yes, I agree.
You know?
I mean, history notes that for over 400 years, I think more than 15 million women, men, and children were the victims.
And they were. They were. You know, and when you think of the atrocities and you think of what happened and what they went through, and, you know, it's only human that you consider it and you tell yourself, you know what, this is what we did, and this is our way of saying we apologize, and here is something back. It's not going to take away what happened, but at least it can show that you've made atonement. It can show that you have recognized what you did, and you're now in the process where you're ready to do that healing.
I know we have a guest, but just quickly. So I was looking at a documentary a few years ago, I remember, and one of the things that stayed with me is when the person who was doing the narration said that the essence of the reparations movement is that if you cause harm to a group of people, you have to repair that harm. So pay up.
Time for we come for our granny change.
Yes, by the way, Nigel, quickly, it's Earth Hour. I think today, Earth Hour, I think from 8:30 to 9:30, we'd recognize this.
Yes, you're supposed to turn off the lights and see the beauty of what's available and to save on the energy and see how well you can protect and help the earth and the environment. So, you know, hopefully you can do that at some point in time and celebrate that as well. Celebrate Earth Day.
Earth Day. Or just put off your phone for an hour. I wonder how many people can do that. Just put it off 1 hour.
Just an hour. That's it,
just an hour.
You know? Yes. See how you can help the environment. Just 1 hour.
Yeah, man. That can make a substantial difference, you know, in energy consumption. It can help reduce, you know, the effect of global warming on this planet. Okay, Nigel. So we have a guest. Let's bring her on. We have Royalty in studio. By the way, she has understood the assignment, Nigel, because her dressing, that baby pink, they're making DBS look pretty.
But you gave her good instructions before she came. So that's a good thing.
So, but she has that flair and she loves to dress, so it's all right. She knew what she had to do. So, Nigel, we welcome our guest, and I give you the opportunity to introduce and welcome our guest.
Well, I'll take the opportunity. I welcome that opportunity. So let me say good morning to you, Miss Beaupierre. I'm not sure if she's still Beaupierre. She'll let us know. But good morning to you, Levie. And it's a pleasure to have you in Connecting the Dots. It's a pleasure to have you back in DA. It's a pleasure to have you on the program. And we're going to find out so much more about you and what you've been doing and what's going on since you won that crown back in '84 and what's it been like and all the rest of it.
94, Nigel, 94.
94, I say 84? 94. And yes, 1994 and you won that crown. So welcome. How are you doing, my dear?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing great this morning. So I was listening to you guys, so that made me smile and it set the mood. I was really into the conversation, did a discussion about reparations and that. So I'm listening, some very good points, and I'm good, thank you. Always happy when I'm home.
All right, it's a pleasure to have you as our guest. By the way, Nigel, you're looking at the background, right? Where we have Levie Beaupierre.
Man, that's a lovely background. I want to book a flight. No.
That is the work, by the way, of DBS, and
wow,
the guys at the technical departments.
That's one of my favorites.
Wonderful.
So that's quoted.
Wonderful.
That's quoted.
Yes. So we have to say kudos to Dean and Dennis and all the other guys that's working back in the background.
Oh yes, Aaron Wiltshire and a lot of them, you know, they go out to places, and one thing with them, when they go out on outside broadcast or whatever, they see something else that they can capture. So that's good.
Wonderful.
All right,
makes me feel like home.
The man.
And it's my favorite sport, one of my favorite sports. I'm not even joking. I always go there when I'm home.
Okay. All right. So, Levie, it's a pleasure to have you on. I mean, we would have heard about Levie Beaupierre back in the day. involved in so much, and then you decided to, of course, go up for the Carnival Queen pageant. We want to talk about that as well. But Nigel, we can tell about the house rules, how we begin.
Oh yes,
Because we like to know a lot, like Beth and things like that. You,
yes,
Nigel,
you have been part of it too. Yes.
By the way, Nigel. By the way, Nigel. We have people on Facebook now.
Oh, you have people. Yes, man. They tell us good morning so much times already. Let me give you a nice one. One say good morning, sunshine Ivo, and smiley Nigel. You budgies. See the trouble there.
I always booey in Nigel. Maybe I always booey. Okay.
And Marie Lauren Richards, good morning to you, my dear. It's a pleasure that you're on. You know, Fred keeps doing great things for us. So, you know, keep us informed of what he's doing.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Shirley Joes, good morning to you. Saying blessings on us. Tina Etienne Nation, good morning to you as well. Muriel Stewart, Rosalind Sevre, Edwina London, of course, want to say good morning. Watching and listening from Texas, you know, and all the rest. Good morning. You know, as we go along, we'll try to call as many as we can, but it's nice to know you're locked in. Go to DBS Facebook page and be part of the program. Be part of your own conversation. One of the things I like about the Facebook page is that they just have their own thing
conversation.
Going on. They're having their own conversation.
Yeah.
They're talking to each other.
Yeah,
like
that's good.
Like it's their own meeting there.
Yes, and I really like it. I like the exchange, you know, and you learn a lot from that as well, especially when you have people who are so skilled about a particular, you know, subject. It could be something that we're discussing, because look, I'm seeing some views on the cricket as well. So you can just understand, you know, how much we learn even from that aspect.
Oh, yes. So that's a wonderful thing, and I like to go back sometimes and look back at the comments and see what happened there. So, you know, those who saying it's insularity, the usual thing for, you know, small countries and so on, why we haven't been able to break through. So, you know, lovely conversation. So log on, be part of it, connect that way. It's our own way of having Dominicans connect, you know, through that part of the social media. So, Levie, just in case. In case you have not been part of Connecting the Dots, we like to take it all the way back. We like to find out a little bit about our guests and how, you know, try to connect with them.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about Levie in terms of, you know, what part of Dominica you're from, first of all.
Okay. So I'm from Salisbury, but I still like to consider myself from La Plaine as well. And I must stress La Plaine because I had an interview yesterday and I said my dad was from Canefield. But he's actually from La Plaine. My mom is from Salisbury. So I consider myself from both.
All right. So we'll talk a little bit about both. But in terms of Salisbury, you know, when you're from Salisbury, did you go to school there in terms of primary school and... You know?
Yeah. Well, it started off at Salisbury School because my mother was a teacher there. And then I think she got transferred to St. Martin's School. Actually, my memory, you know, going back, I don't have good recollections. But anyway, my mom went to teach at St. Martin's School and I followed her there. And from there, I went straight to Convent High School.
Okay, you jumped too quick.
Yes,
you jumped the bike at too quick. You reached Convent already.
Yes. So let's take her back, Nigel.
Yeah, she jumped too quick when I would. So I mean, okay. So tell us a little bit about primary school. What was it like for you in primary school? Do you remember like anything in primary school?
Primary school, can I remember anything? All I remember is that I could spell library. It was very interesting, and I always used to be at the front for spelling. Spelling was always my thing. That's all I can remember from primary school. That's in Salisbury, I reckon. And I just remember one time nobody could spell library. We had some spelling competition or something like that, and I couldn't wait for my turn. You know what I'm like already. And then when they said, Levie, can you spell library? You should have seen me. Library. Everyone got it wrong, and that is the highlight for me from primary school, really. I have no other, sadly, sorry, I have no other memories.
Someone you would have gone to school with, not just someone may just remember something, somebody she went to school with.
Yes, there's somebody who's probably going to remember something because, you know, Carl Coffey, James, good morning to you. He wants to see you actually from 12th Street, Kinfield too. So Kofi, good morning. We'll find out about 12th Street, Kinfield. 12th Street, Kinfield seemed to have been like the buzz of Kinfield at one point in time. to me, that's a street everybody talks about. So maybe one day we'll find out what is it that was happening in 12th Street, Kingsfield, that seemed to have been like a center of Kingsfield, you know?
The capital of Kingsfield.
Do you recall like anyone else who was in primary school with you? Do you remember any of are you still friends with anyone there?
Well, St. Martin's School, I remember like Sherma. Yeah, Sherma was in St. Martin's School. Who else? Was Avril, one of my really good friends. Avril, I think, but I more remember her at Convent, so I have more memories of Convent than St. Martin. I think St. Martin happened really too quickly, and maybe I've had so many experiences in my life that other experiences that transcend primary school memories, and there's no space in the brain.
Okay, but we'll juggle it a little, right, Nigel? There are some things we must. We must unearth as we go ahead with this conversation. We want to find out about your childhood days, how was it for you growing up, and a lot we want to find out about.
Well, childhood, I remember, so school, incidents at school, I can't really, I just remember Salisbury School, the up and down and swinging. Oh, memories are coming through now, the swinging, whatever, and getting the lunch and all of that. So just my childhood I enjoyed, I appreciate it now that we didn't have internet, we didn't have all those things, we didn't have, how I used to entertain myself was Salisbury has a lot of like sort of forest, it's quite bushy. So we would go out to just look for mangoes, that sort of thing. I would bathe in the river, I would spend the whole afternoon out. And that for me, I would not trade that for anything. Going to Salisbury Beach and attempting to jump off. I remember that. There's a cliff. I think they call it Sunuma or something like that. And people would jump in. And I don't know why I decided to follow them. Guess what? I jumped. You're lucky you seen me there this morning, okay? Because when I jumped, I went low. I dived in the wrong way. And I went all the way underwater, and I thought I was never going to see the top again. I swallowed so much water. So all those things in my childhood. And I also had a friend of, well, not a friend, she was a family friend. She was on holiday. So I spent a lot of time on the beach, and we were in Salisbury Sea together. I could swim, she couldn't. And she was almost, she maybe went out a little bit too much and was drowning, like splattering. And guess who was her floating device? Moi. She put her hand on my head and drowning me, and she's using me to go forward, and I'm there drowning in the background and nobody to help me. So so those are my childhood. Yeah. So these are the things that stand out, because it's like they sort of, you didn't realize how dangerous these things actually were. You enjoyed them, they make you stronger, but then looking back, you're thinking, what did I do?
That's a good thing about, childhood memories, in the sense that, they were just innocent times and they were having fun.
Sure,
but now as adults, and you look back, you're like, man, this was like really dangerous things you were doing. But that's the wonderful thing about it. So from Salisbury, you kind of moved into Kingsfield, right? I'm guessing.
Yes.
What about Kingsfield? What about 12th Street Kingsfield? Do you remember Anne-Marie, Lauren, Richard?
Well,
do you remember
definitely.
Do you remember other people there?
These were my friends, so Anne-Marie and we all lived on the same street. Iris Pond, Anne-Marie. So Anne-Marie, Iris and I, we were very close at one point. I used to spend most of my afternoons sort of with them, if I remember. There's a Latouche as well living on that street. Who else did I know? Latouche. There was Ma Jacob. Well, she wasn't on 12th Street, but she was, these were all the people that I was interacting with. They were either on the street or just slightly above us. And what's June? Gabrielle? There's people, there's a lot of people. But my memories of 12th Street, maybe I was, I don't know, maybe I was not reserved, but I was just with a few people. So I'm still waiting to hear about the 12th Street action, because I was living there and I didn't realize that 12th Street was famous. I just know I used to go to Iris and Anne-Marie and Everson. Yes, I remember them. Everson Laron, Anne-Marie Laron. And then there was Carl Carl and them used to live somewhere. Carl James. I remember all these people are coming to mind, and I'm sure if I've left anyone out, forgive me, because remember I said about the memory thing. But the reason we had 2 houses, so we had a residence in Salisbury and one in Canefield, so it was like shifting between the both.
But were you going to Lapland as well around that time?
Can you imagine? I'm so regretful of that. Maybe I was just too much into the Roseau hype, which is not good. So I missed out a lot of good experiences in Lapland, because Lapland is one of the most beautiful villages for me in Doominica. And I regret not going there often enough. My other sisters went there a lot. But me, sadly, I think we had already moved to Salisbury by that time, when I could remember. And once I moved to Salisbury, Lapland took a back seat. I don't know if I thought it was too far. I couldn't be bothered. I was too busy. Yeah. So now I'm back. I tend to try and go to Lapland as often as I can and reconnect with my family there, because I have so much close family in Lapland. That's where my father is from. So almost everybody is related to me. I was just even telling Kimara that Kimara, that Kimara might be my relative as well, because I know the Itos. Yes, my father used to always say cousin Ito, and then she's an Ito, and Doominica is a small place. There's always a lineage. So even her. So yeah.
Like there's no connection with Nigel Francis, right? In terms of family.
Nigel Francis need to give me a background about her. I can't even remember Nigel. I just remember. Isn't there a priest called Nigel Francis? Isn't there a connection? No
Nigel, do you know I was very happy when I met Levie, I think, in the week, and we were talking, and I was saying, about the program and Nigel Francis, but she could not remember Nigel Francis, and I was happy with Nigel. I said first time.
Yeah, I only remember
you get one.
What? Nigel was a quota. Yeah.
So Nigel, speak up. Tell us about yourself. Let's interview Nigel.
But look at that for me.
The tables on me now. Don't worry, I'm gonna juggle his memory in a few when we come to the 1994 Queen competition. And maybe she might remember 1 or 2 things, especially when we had to do a documentary, had to put together her video at SPAT with Bernard Frampton. But we'll talk about that later on when we get there. So primary school, St. Martin School, what was it like for you there?
St. Martin School?
Yes.
But we spoke about St. Martin School. Remember I said I don't have that much.
Do you remember your school song at St. Martin School, by the way? Not many people
maybe if you give me a help, you have to start
it. The herald sound.
Well, if I don't sing something often enough, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
No.
Nigel, I remember.
I'm so sorry.
Nigel, do you remember
I'm sorry, St. Martin School.
I remember my school song, word for word. I remember that school song, word for word.
Well, say it now.
Papa,
recite
your program
it.
You are the guest we. Nigel, telling me to behave myself.
Recite it. Help me.
Next week I start, I don't want to finish.
Help me.
Don't worry, pretty sure St. Martin School students is going to call us
and say, leave
or let us know. We didn't know that school song was singing for us.
It ends match on. Back in the day we say match on.
And there was somebody they used to call Marjon.
Right,
Marjon.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're getting it.
It's coming back. It's all coming back now. Yeah.
Nigel, we have to hit on the head, man, to remember a lot of things.
You have to. You think you need to. So you just discovered something. Leaving memory up to a certain point is gone.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. So I was saying, okay, so in terms of, it seems to me that,
probably
what stood out for you was your days at Convent.
Yes.
At Convent High School, right?
Convent High School,
Were you involved in sporting activities in Convent, or was it just the books alone, the academics?
I just remember being in St. Teresa's house. That was my house. We used to have, was it like a sports something every week? So maybe that's all I used to do. I was not actively involved, like in the national thing where maybe all schools, unless if all schools met and you just had to go. So sports wasn't something, a highlight for me there where I can say, okay, I did that and I did that. So it was just about fun. For me, Convent was fun. It was learning, but learning with fun. There's a lot of interesting characters, a lot of strong characters. So you needed to have your own individuality because there's so many girls. And that is what I remember. Convent was just about always striving to have your own identity and your own individuality. Yeah.
Who was the principal back then when you
Mrs. Levie, my darling? She's still she's such a nice woman. She was
a guest on this program already.
Oh, was she?
Oh, yes.
Was she? I really love this lady, and I'm not just saying that. I haven't seen her recently, but maybe last 3-4 trips, I think I saw her in town. She was with her daughter Palessa. I think they were walking in town, and I met them. Yeah. So she was they say head teacher in England. Yeah, she was
she was the principal, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's principal. We say in Doominica, they use head teacher. So sorry. Yeah.
So you enjoyed your Convent High School days?
Immensely. I made some good friends, some firm friendships, and that's it. And we still talk today. So the people that I bonded with at Convent, we are still there. And that is why Convent is memorable for me. Because of the relationships.
When you went to Convent High School, was there that close connection with SMB, and why?
Oh my God, that I can't now see. What is the big fuss? What was
What the
Niger? Sorry, we on live radio. What was this whole SMA thing? Oh my God, until the whole thing was Convent and SMA. Now looking back, like why? Why?
Nigel,
just go to school. Forget about SMA. Let them, just go to school, learn, stop having any distractions, stop getting your brain full of who you like, who you're trying to notice you and all that, and everybody else trying to get that person. It was very competitive. I mean, people wouldn't say it out loud, but, girls, it was very, 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 very competitive.
From inside Nigeria.
It was just building the connection, I guess. At that time, we were just trying to establish connections. So that's a better word we'll use for today.
Okay.
They were just connecting with each other.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. What about any particular, subjects or teachers that had an influence on you in Convent?
Oh, there's a lot. I remember definitely Mrs. Agar. I don't know why she stood out. Mrs. Agar, Mrs. Harris too. There's Miss Prentice, at the time. Yes, a lot of them. I liked almost all my teachers, actually. There was Miss Dublin, Mrs. Dublin.
She was a principal as well after.
Oh, yeah, she was. Okay, so yeah, they were all good. They and tolerated me.
Were you troublesome at school?
Yes.
Were you troublesome at school?
Yeah. They tolerated me. I was very, but not troublesome as in making trouble, I'm a happy-go-lucky person. That's me by nature. So if we want to call that troublesome, then I'll just take the title.
You had any sisters at the school at that time?
Yeah, Lovell was at Convent together with me, Juliet, at some point. Yeah, I did.
You come from a large family, by the way?
Very, yeah. I have a lot of sisters. I have a lot of sisters and just 2 brothers.
All right.
What was it like though, having to grow up in a large family? Was it competitive? Were you guys more leaning upon each other?
Just more, I don't want to call it combative. There's a I want to use a nice word for when you just bickering, that kind of thing, bickering. So there's a lot of people, it's girls, so there's going to be personality clashes. The older sisters looking out for the younger ones. Then that time Bruno's Hall used to be swinging. And I remember my sister used to come and tap on my shoulder and tell me, let's go up while I'm in the middle of enjoying a song, I was there boogieing and I used to get so mad. I used to just see the police reach and tap on, let's go home. So yeah, that for me, I can remember.
I want to go back. Yeah, that was the big entertainment spot.
Yes.
There, Bruno's Hall.
Yeah.
I remember the what song, back in the day. You'd always have to mention Bruno's Hall because action was always, on at Bruno's Hall.
Yes, Murder She Wrote. I remember a song I used to boogie, Murder She Wrote. Boy, I used to like that song. That's the only song and Kassav, they used to play that a lot as well. And I remember,
I want to find out though, let's go back to the community, of course. You spent a lot of time in Salisbury and in Canefield as well. How was it growing up in the community?
It was good. Salisbury is a very nice place. People are very supportive of each other. That's one thing. They have your back. Huh? I mean, I was young, so of course sometimes I'm gonna be silly. I'm gonna be like full of myself because you're young, you know. So and you do that when you're younger. So sometimes they might have been irritated with me because Levie doesn't want to say hello and that. But all in all, we knew that we looked out for each other. You know, when outside of the community, they would always be there for me.
Did you get the sense that the community was raising the child back in the day?
Yes. Oh, definitely. It was like, even still, you know, you still get an element of that now. And it's just the same thing. People looking out for you. You don't only have to rely on your mom. There's always somebody out there looking out for you. And I like that. So it gives you that kind of envelope, you know, that extra sense of protection.
Mm-hmm. Nigel, you want to stay on Convent still or what? You want us to
yeah, I have to finish with Convent before we move on after Convent. So
go ahead.
So yes, Convent. So in terms of like Convent itself, would you say that your years at Convent helped to shape you? Looking back now, kind of helped to shape you at some point in time in your life?
Yes, because at Convent the standards were quite high. Okay, so it sort of gave me the foundation I needed to progress, to just continue my journey. So the journey started there. It's like I said, not competitive in the usual sense, as in like fighting competitive because people are a lot of intelligent people were going there at the time. Then you still had this hierarchy thing, you know, back in those days you had this hierarchy thing and all that too. So fitting in, all those things were challenges. And it helped me. It helped me as I grew and grew and grew. I would go back to my experiences at school and how I felt, you know, and I would make changes. And I'd say, am I going to accept that now? You know, when on the negative ones, I'd say, no, you know, that happened then, you know, and I not accepted it, but that's how it was. That was just the status quo, whatever you want to call it. And then, yeah, so I think that really helped me become the person I am today.
Wonderful. So so we've gone from Salisbury Primary School, you know, a little bit of St. Martin's School, and then of course to Convent.
Yeah.
So what happened after Convent?
What happened after Convent? I
did
college in England. I did college in England later. So after Convent, they just offered me a job straight away in Doominica. I got a job offer just like that. And, you know, a young person, you want to make, you know, the prospect of being independent, financially independent so quickly. So I did that. I got the job and I started to work. You know, I just started to work. I went, in the Ministry of Communications at the time. So I stayed there.
So straight from school?
Yeah, straight from school. So everything else I did after. So I'm one of those ones that did it in reverse.
I want to go back to Convent. I did to primary school as well, because I want to find out if you were involved in pageantry. Probably Miss Teen, Doominica. No. Were you interested in these things at that time?
No, not the teen one. I never was. I can't even remember if I was.
Because interested. I know you went on to become Miss Doominica, so I wanted to find out if it started at
on
school.
the other side. No, it didn't. When I say on the other side, it's on Portsmouth side. So I did some competitions there, and Portsmouth people. I was Miss North, and Portsmouth people were not happy. They were not happy about that. So they were getting all angry, you know, when I won the show, because they're saying you're from the West. How is she coming to Portsmouth and even taking the crown Miss North, whatever? So when I won the Miss North, I then went straight to the national one. And I think I did some show in Wesley as well, and I probably won that or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I thought you started at school in terms of pageantry. You would have gone to Princess Show. And
did I? If I did, then I've forgotten. But yeah, I don't think I did teenage pageant or Princess Show or anything like that.
Nigel?
So it wasn't like an early thing in terms of being involved in those things earlier. It just happened. So you were working at the Ministry of Communications and just basically enjoying that newfound, if you want, independence, right?
Yeah.
Because you were now, you know, earning your own little salary and doing your own little things. How did you end up getting involved in the Miss Doominica pageant? I mean, you just mentioned a little bit of going Miss North and so on. Were you approached? Was it something you said after Miss North? You were like, you know what, I'm going to go for this?
Well, how I got involved, and I think I was prompted. It was Rosie was around at the time. You know, he was Rosie Douglas sort of encouraged me when I won the Miss North. And then there was Lloyd. I can't forget Lloyd. He was very good. Lloyd Wayland, he was very good. He was very supportive guy, very supportive. And he also encouraged me. And in the end I said yes. And I wanted to do it anyway. So I can't remember how I signed up, whether I went to them, whatever the case. But fact is, I ended up as one of the contestants. And that was that.
When you got involved in the Miss Doominica pageants, hopefully you can remember those days.
Of course.
What was it like in terms of, all the practices and the preparations and the sponsorship? Do you remember any of that?
Oh, at that time, sponsorship was quite hard. I don't think they trusted the bunch for whatever reason. I don't think people were falling over themselves to sponsor people. Yeah, so doesn't matter. We're still gonna do our stuff.
But you had a sponsor. You remember?
I think in the end, I don't think we got many sponsors. I can't remember. I don't think we got many sponsors at all. I think the actual committee had to sponsor a lot of us in the end. And even with the practicing, we had a rehearsal where we would go some hall, and we would get our practice there. And I did a lot of my own rehearsals. Lloyd is great. He's good at things like that, He can actually pose and stuff like that. So I had Lloyd also giving me my little tips on the side and yeah.
Nigel,
Energizer.
I guess
Energizer.
Oh yes,
Energizer.
Yes,
he's good,
Energizer.
He could pose and he could.
He was the Black Madonna.
Black Madonna. He then took
yeah.
Black Madonna. Mm-hmm. What is he now? No, he's Energizer. So he was Black Madonna at the time,
now,
and then yes, AKA now. Energizer.
He was quite slim and trim back in the day,
and looked good. Yeah, he was stylish. Mm-hmm. The original, I call him.
Oh yes.
First before, he was very much the original. Queen.
Nigel, were you involved in the Queen Show Committee at that time, 94?
Well, yes, I was deeply involved in the Queen Show Committee at that time. I was responsible for the performing talent section before I became the chairman of the Queen Show Committee. So that was my involvement at that point in time to make sure everything was going well with Raymond and the others. Of course, later on, after I moved to the cultural division, got involved with Black Madonna and all the rest.
Oh, you got him Black Madonna.
So the involvement.
Nigel has done a lot, Levie.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
Where have I been?
In fact, soon I want to have Nigel as my guest.
Yeah, Nigel needs to be a guest.
We need to bring this out. No, seriously, we have to.
I will like it in my report. So,
I cannot wait for that program.
So we were, that's, we were involved in that. And that was actually the year before that, we started doing the video productions where we would have, get the young ladies to do the video presentations and so on. So, got involved with Bernard Frampton, made sure that he was part of the process with SPAT at the time to do the video productions for the young ladies so that we could present it to the public. So that was the, involvement at the time. As I'm saying that, good morning to you, Jennifer. Jennifer Coffey, of course, who worked very closely with the young ladies and who was also went up for Queen as well at one point or the other. Jennifer, saying good morning to you, Levie. I think you guys met in Roseau recently.
Oh my God, Jenny is my friend. She
was
here. Yes,
of course.
That Jenny, I'm thinking.
Jenny's yes, yes.
I just saw Jenny about maybe last week sometime. Yeah,
that same Jenny.
Oh, wow! Hi, Jenny. yeah.
So, Levie, I don't know if you remember the actual night of the competition itself, and what happened during the night of the competition. Do you remember anything on that particular night?
No, I was fired up. I didn't have time to remember anything else except my mission, so I'm just remembering all my rounds, getting ready and just going there thinking, yes, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be my best. That's all I'm remembering.
Well, Nigel, refresh our memory, because somehow I feel like something happened that you want her to remember.
Tell us.
Well, as we go along, it will come back to her.
Yeah.
What about your performing talent? Do you remember what you did for your talent round?
Of course I did. Yes, of course I did. I remember I tried to do a cultural medley. So I tried to put that together because Okay, so different people helped me with the talent, but the formation, the production was me, so that was me. And it was our cultural music, our cultural thing, activity, whatever we do during that period. I tried and fuse everything together. And that was my talent: music, accordion, steel pan, and just a short story. Yeah.
So you were reciting a story, you were singing, you were dancing, everything?
Not singing, but I was just playing it and dancing and really enjoying it. I wonder if
you won Best Talent that year?
Best Talent, yes.
Okay.
Yes, Best Talent was. Did I get Best Talent? Yes, I did get Best Talent. Oh, yes, because it's my costume. I didn't get Best Costume. I wonder why I never got Best Costume.
Do you remember?
My costume was really nice.
She got Best Talent. Okay.
My costume was really nice. I don't know why Pee Wee made my costume and I didn't get Best. That is the round I was expecting to win. No disrespect to the girl, the first runner-up that got the Best Costume, but my costume I thought was really good.
What did you pick it? Can you remember?
Again, because I just wanted the whole cultural thing. It was a theme, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So I picked that as well. I did that. And it was quite original. And I think I've seen that even, afterwards and so. And I didn't get the Best Costume. I got Best Evening Wear. But I thought all the wrongs were going to be me. All the wrongs. But not, sorry, I'm not saying it into, that's just me and my thinking. You're asking me for honesty, isn't it? So,
yes,
So, I mean, it's a long time and it's not us. It's not me. It's not the other contestants. It's other people rating it. So it's what they like. But nobody's going to change my mind in terms of what I see. I like to that's how I saw it. Yeah.
Do you remember the other young ladies that you competed with?
Iris was there. Iris Pond, she's a great singer. She was there. Then Kimra, I remember Kimra and Nikom. We kept in touch for a while, but maybe she moved from Doominica. Norma is a friend of my person I like. Norma was there as well. Most of the girls, I like them. Alfia, I see Alfia. I can't remember the others. Emmeline. And was it a girl? She was kind of like petite. I think I saw her in Tongue. I can't remember her name now. And I can't
How many girls that year? 7, 6?
Is it not 8?
Okay.
7 or 8, yeah.
Nigel, 8?
Yeah, there were actually 8 girls that year.
Oh, 8, okay,
yeah. I guess in those years, at that point in time, you were looking to get as many as you could.
Yeah.
to participate in the competition.
Okay.
To make it competitive.
What about your answer and question wrong? Do you remember that?
I just remember the same thing, being fired up, waiting for my question and answer, couldn't wait to get it out, and I just remember the crowd being happy and when I answered my question. That's all I remember.
And you don't even remember the question?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Have you seen your show since? Have you seen your when you went up that year? Have you been able to view it?
It's always people that told me they used to play my show often. They used to show it on TV all the time. Every year my show comes up and suddenly it just died. I think the format changed or something. I remember asking because I wanted it to take back to England because people in England are quite interested in that. And then at that time we had nothing on YouTube. Can you imagine? I have nothing to refer back to. So people in England always want to see because they take pageant thing maybe more, titles, maybe more serious. They don't not serious, but they don't, not because you pass to them. If they see it like if you're Miss England, then, for whatever. If you're Miss England, you're Miss Doominica, they make a fuss like in your workplace when you first go, but although saying that when you do start working, you get treated. Like, that's another story. That's another story. You just get treated like every other member.
We'll try to explore that story in the remaining time that we have, though. But leaving Miss Doominica in 1994, I don't know if you recall on that night when it was announced and you were announced as Miss Doominica, the one who won. Do you remember what it was, how you felt that night?
You say that again, sorry? Maybe I looked down at
when you were announced as the winner, 1994 Miss Carnival Queen, Miss Levie Beaupierre. Do you remember that particular night and how it felt?
Of course, Raymond was the one, as usual, and he said he's the winner, and that was me, and I was smiling from ear to ear. I felt really excited. My heart was beating. I was still even nervous. I was even nervous for the results as well. And then I felt really, really, who wouldn't? You've just won. You've just won Miss Doominica pageant. So I felt good. I think more than good. Good is not a strong word.
I'm just looking, Nigel. I'm just looking at the comments of Rosalind Severin McLean, and she's saying, "Oh yes, I remember that show when Iris went up." And she's also asking, "Was that Norma Joseph?"
It was Norma Joseph.
Yes, it was her.
Norma, my dear.
Yeah,
Good morning,
and Rosalind
she's
is
a very, very beautiful person.
Yeah, Rosalind is also saying that she had the modeling school in D then, and Iris and Norma were part of her classes.
And
she remembered
you
the
should
young
have had me
lady's
too.
She remembers your talent as well. So that was a big moment for you. I mean, you're on stage with the other girls, 8 girls, and then Raymond comes on stage to give the results, and you are there waiting. Did you know then, though? Sometimes people get a little, sipsion, as we say in local parlance.
No, the crowd is the one that gave me the clue. The crowd, so the audience. So I kind of had an inkling based on the audience response to me in every round. So, but still, there was always this other thing that there was this, I don't know if there was a person, people put it in your head, there's a person they want to win, so there's always that in the back of your head. I don't think that might not necessarily be true, but from the way I understood it, I don't think I was their first choice for whatever reason. From people, just from what I was being fed, but that might not be true. So, of course, it will always play on your mind to a certain extent. Yeah.
Okay, so you won the title, the crown was placed on your head, you sat on the chair and everything, you got your bouquet of flowers, and then what?
And then we sail into the sunset happily ever after with my crown, and I go and meet Prince Charming, and just how it happens in the fairy tales. Okay, so what happened next was a lot of, I remember cutting a ribbon. There was a Baroness somebody when they were opening the Bayfront. I remember going there. I remember being at the State House, Crispin. What's his name, Crispin? Was he Crispin Sorrento, Mr.?
Sorrento,
yes. I remember being with him, doing some functions there, and also the Independence Rally. Yes, and then a lot of, there were always invitations from other countries to do shows and all of that, and some of them I couldn't go to because there's just too many and the funding and so I did a few stints locally, but I could have done more. I still think at the time.
We want to go on to the region in terms of what you did, but let me just
mention the region thing.
Let me just mention Nigel. Tessa Coffee is saying that you mentioned Emmeline as one of the contestants, and she's asking, was that Emmeline Kazimi from
Oh my
Dubla?
God, when I said yes, I did say that. So it's not, her costume was nice, it was lovely. So yeah, I think it's Emmeline that got my costume thing. When I'm thinking that costume thing was, but anyway.
But overall, you enjoyed your reign.
So it's not even about that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. This is meant to be jokey, okay? So nobody is meant to be taking anything seriously.
How many years now ago?
It's a long time we have got
What, Nigel?
old.
29 years? 29 years?
94, so that's about just about...
Gosh,
29 years.
30, 28 years, just about
so
29 years. Yeah.
29 years.
Yeah, but it feels like still yesterday, though. It really does. Maybe because people remind me all the time. I always get recognized. So maybe people keep it fresh in my mind all the time. I get recognized, or people refer to me like that. Or in Roseau in particular, it's like everybody in Roseau, most people, apart from maybe if they're young, the younger generation, but every other person. Yeah. So although it's long ago, it just feels like, I don't know.
And then you'd have moved on to regional competitions, right? Tell us how you performed.
Not as good as I'd like to. And that is because we don't want to be criticizing. We don't want to be criticizing, but we do want constructive, And so I don't know. I didn't have much options in terms of that's how I would put it. I didn't have much options in terms of maybe what I really wanted to take with me, carry with me. So I just went with what I had, because you couldn't get more sponsorship post the show. And I think that really, remember, we're not talking now, and some people might have, other winners might have had support from other people that made it possible for them. So I didn't have that type of support. So I remember even when I wanted a certain wop duet, I didn't, for my cultural appearance somewhere else, I didn't like what I wore. I didn't like my shoe. And also we didn't have the internet. Although I had lots of family that could send me those things. But some of the things were unique to Doominica if it's something, cultural. And we didn't have the internet where I could go and browse and look at different things, and just... So I had to go with what I was given, basically. And... that's still not really an excuse. You should never. My performance was my performance. I think that I almost had the Miss Caribbean crown. Everybody was saying, Miss Doominica, that is yours. Miss Caribbean, that was in the one not in the Virgin Islands. There's 2 Caribbean. There's the Antigua one, then there's the other one. And so that is maybe something I'm going to get to in future in terms of how contestants should not get too saddled with question and answer. It should just become a natural thing. So on that, for the Miss Caribbean, I was completely winning the show. I knew it, that I was going to win the show. And then the guy comes to question and answer, and I have all this, thing in my head. It not necessarily to do with the committee at all. That's just to do with people that surrounding me, and putting all sorts of questions in my head, and I like question and answer. That is something I actually like. So I'm thinking, let's power my brain, and I'm thinking of bigger issues, big things, and I'm ready to answer any sort of big question. And the guy just planted a very, very simple, just a chit-chat question. And then it took me to come back down, to reality that this is... So I paused on the question and answer. And I got nervous. at that point. I think it's the nerve that did it, because trying to get my brain back, riffing my brain to just a simple question, the pause was too long. And then because I paused, I felt nervous and I stuttered. And I just went straight back down to second runner-up. And then, And then I did Miss OECS. Miss OECS, I got third runner-up.
So let's go back. You were preparing for a question.
A big, huge. I had all sorts of things about UNICEF. I just was well read and ready. And then I'm getting some simple thing. Maybe how is your day? So it's just something simple as that. And I'm not against that. I think that's quite good that he asked it like that. Because for me, question and answer should be about conversation. It should test your conversational skills, as opposed to, because not everybody is going to be suddenly knowing about Putin and what's going on in Ukraine and how now probably, but back in the day, remember, we didn't have much of internet, and we didn't have much, so people are going and reading, and you're going and looking into books and all sorts of things, because you want to be abreast with what is going on in the world. And then the guy asked me some basic simple thing. 1, 2, 3. I could just answer that just like that. And I just stopped. Never. And I lost that. And that was good money. That was good money I lost there. Because I think for my second runner-up, I got, how much? Nearly 2,000 US or whatever. That's good money. I wanted that crown so bad. That one I wanted. And then I got third runner-up in Miss OECS. Antigua, I must play back that show. Because I don't understand up to this day, why did I not get a place in Antigua? What did I do wrong? So maybe my cultural clothes wasn't good. That's all I can think of. I didn't like it. Maybe I chose the wrong evening wear. But then I was still me. I was thinking, gosh, I can beat all these women. That's what I thought. I can beat all of them. And then I'm waiting for my name. And the guy never called my name. I'm thinking, what the... But anyway.
So Nigel, you're hearing all of this, and you are very much involved at that time, very much involved in pageantry on the committee. So what comes to your mind when you hear this from a
I
former?
think I think it's a couple things. I think it's one of the things. One of the which I think has corrected itself now is back then. Once the competition was over, the support structure wasn't as strong as it is now.
No.
So
That's
the
true,
contestant was
Nigel.
kind of left on her own.
That's true, Nigel.
Okay.
So that happened then. So that has been corrected. I think there's a lot more support now that
Good.
goes with the contestant along the way. And I guess the other area I'm thinking of is maybe at that time there was too much pressure being put on the contestants for the question and answer section. That seemed to have been the overriding thing. That is everybody waiting for that particular round, and that puts additional pressure on the young lady. That's standing there knowing that the audience is waiting for her to just pause or which is normal, right, in conversation. If you ask somebody a question, like they're giving you the answer and they might pause for a second or
that's
two.
normal.
That's normal. But for the audience, once you pause, it's you forget. Or that's the reaction
I
you
have
get.
seen this. And if you're not strong, if you're not strong, you will crumble on this stage.
So that is, so looking back at that, I can understand what Levie is saying in terms of the pressure she might have felt then and how she was prepared for one thing and something came and it kind of just threw her off completely.
Threw me off. And I lost so much money. Sorry, let's not focus on the money.
Yes.
No, but I needed it for studies. You know what I mean? That was my one opportunity to grab a crown and that question. And so up to this day, I'm mad.
Especially when you felt you were doing good in all the, you did well in all the other rounds.
That's outstanding. Go and watch my swimsuit round. Watch my swimsuit round. I was good. I was way ahead, I think, in points. Not way ahead. Miss St. Kitts was good. She was good. She was trailing well. She was there giving me competition, Miss St. Kitts Nevis, to be fair, because she won. So she was just waiting for me to,
faux pas.
Faux pas. That was a faux pas. And, question and answer. At that time, it carried a lot of questions. You cannot be stuttering. You can't make a mistake. You get tongue-tied on your words. And then if you ever get tongue-tied, you can't even continue because you're so engulfed in the fact that you've made a mistake. So your brain...
At that time, the crowd is not letting you have it easy.
Yeah, you just go in a blank. And you just say something silly, because that's not the answer you want to give. That's not the real you. That was not the real Levie. That was the Levie getting startled and nerves getting in the way. But you learn, so you have to look at it as a learning experience. Yeah.
In terms of, and I know it's been a while for you, so I'm not sure if you've been following, pageantry since then and following queen competitions and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But if you were to offer like any, advice to young ladies who probably, want to go up for, queen competitions and stuff like that, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Oh, good. I would like to give them some advice, actually. And how do I put this without... not upsetting, without making it sound? We have to be careful with that. It's again to do with not just question and answer. It's just the whole speaking thing leading up to the show. All this performing, sometimes it to me sounds like a performance as opposed to just being natural. Let's just not even talk about Queen Show. I just think it's the whole format of shows here. Like even maybe just teenage pageant, the girls will come and then they'll say something like, cascading sea and water, this, I bring you myself, my name. I don't like, this doesn't appeal to me, okay? It sounds like a performance, a rehearsed sort of thing. And that makes you nervous. You cannot be it's better to be your authentic self. It's better to be natural. So it's really more about your conversational skills as opposed to how many big words you can slot in, or whether you can put Gandhi or quoting Gandhi in there, and you have to put yourself like that to talk. Thank you, good day. And save that for the performing talent. There is a round for that called performing talent. You come, if you're natural, people appreciate you more, because when you're natural, you bring out a charm. There might be some humor, so they're taking themselves too seriously, so you never see a humorous side because of that. Because if you're performing, your brain is the same thing that happened to me in the BVI or wherever I went. Your brain is so clouded that you're taking it yourself so seriously, you don't want to make a mistake. And also it's from the pressure as well, like when people put comments on whatever, who is well spoken, who is eloquent in this, that. You don't really hear things like that. Well, I mean, I live in England, but people are not really concerned about things like that. People just are concerned if you're talking, like let's say I'm at work and I'm speaking, which people say that I have very good speaking skills in England, but it's not about how many big words I use. It's about how I express myself and how I give my message, whether people are able to understand me, whether they are able to relate to me, whether I can make somebody smile, you know. This is what it brings out your personality when you're natural. So I don't think the focus should be on how putting on an accent for the night. I'm not one to talk because, yes, sometimes I do slot in a little, not British, but I do pronounce my words, certain words I hear all the time in England. I might say things like them, but that is natural to me now because I choose to talk that way. I choose to talk that way. Whereas just for the night, just for the Queen Show night, running up to Queen Show, somebody has now given you an American accent to roll your tongue, to say R and to cancer and, whatever. And all those things make you nervous. You don't need to worry about cancer. Just say it like that. Just speak. It's simple. So for me, be natural, be yourself. The other advice I'd like to give as well, they should not worry about who Dominicans prefer. Because if these contestants are coming in and they're already nervous, some people want to go for the Queen Show, but they are not exactly confident. And then they listen too much to who on Facebook, who you defeated even before you compete. So even if, always have belief in yourself. Do not care whether this person knows the president or where, that doesn't matter. Okay, you're going to be judged for your performance on the night. So just forget all the noise, know yourself, be yourself, and your personality will always come through. You'll do well because it's the judges on the night. It's not about who look good or who everybody's saying looks nice and who has more fans or who is more popular. Nothing like that. Don't let that deter you. That's my other thing. And yeah, I think in terms of the contestants, that would be my advice for them.
Wonderful. I like how you mentioned and quite a few people on Facebook kind of agreeing with you.
Good. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you.
Yes, just being organic, as Kofi says, and just being natural, being yourself. No need to put in the yanking, as somebody says. Too much emphasis on introduction, Tessa says.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the show recently.
Rosling is saying the speaking project needs to be rehearsed. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean, and good advice. Be yourself, be natural, because then you're allowed to be a lot more confident.
Your confidence comes through, and you come across more honest as well. People believe you, they buy into you. But the other you, it's not you. It's somebody you putting on, for the night, and then your true personality. We never know it. In fact, I don't see a personality. I just see somebody performing, but I've never. When I'm speaking to you, can you not tell my personality from speaking to me? You can tell it because I'm being my natural, real self. I don't care who's looking on Facebook, who's probably saying, "Oh, why is she doing that? Why is she song?" It doesn't matter to me. That's you. That's how I am. And because of that, somebody will just say, "Okay, she's her real, genuine self. We like her for that." And I think that always works in any country, not just Dominica. I know in England that works a lot. If one thing they hate over there, you'll never get a proper job, is if you're taking yourself too seriously. If not that you won't, but your relationships with people will be broken down because they have this emphasis on people being fake. They just like people to just relax and not take themselves too seriously.
All right, so you're listening to Levie Beaupierre, our guest on Connected the Dots. She is a former Carnival Queen, Miss Dominica 1994, and it's really a pleasure to have her on, Nigel. Very interesting conversation.
It is. It's nice to hear her views, and I'm gonna ask you something. Maybe you may or may not want to answer. I always like to do that to my guests.
Yeah. Tell me.
So you currently live in England?
Yeah. I do.
You've been there for a while, I could well imagine, after you left Dominica. What has the experience been like in England as a black person, as a black woman?
Oh, you can ask me that. Oh, I'm happy that you've asked me that. So my experience, that's what I know it's cliche, a journey. but it's definitely a journey. It's not been easy. It's not been easy in the sense that if you don't know the culture of a country, you're going to find yourself in a lot of difficulty. And that is because you don't know how to deal with them, how to respond to certain things when they throw it at you. We're not talking questions. We're talking about how to blend in, how to fit in. And by doing that, how to get results, how to get what you want to get. So there's a lot of challenges. But the only thing, I was always very confident from day one in England. But our version of confidence does not tally with British version of confidence, okay? They don't, your confidence, the whole thing about love yourself, sapaka work. They don't like the love yourself thing. They see it as being very arrogant, and that can work against you, yeah? So confidence, I think there's a fine line in Doominica with the definition of confidence. Confidence here, to me, almost, not in all cases, equals arrogance. That is not what confidence is. So if you go with that kind of confidence in England, you're going to find yourself in a lot of problems because you always will be fighting with maybe not a black person, a British person in general. So what they want to see as a black woman, if you behave, you shouldn't really behave how they want you to behave. I'm not for that at all. Why should I? I'm myself. But if I behave how you want me to behave, then I'm certifying that you're superior to me in some sort of way. No. But there's just a behavior, an accepted, a civilized way of behaving. And arrogance is never good. If you have some arrogance, which sometimes I do come across like that, but you have to make it light. It mustn't be. So they'll joke, they'll say, oh, I love you. They'll tell me, I love your self-confidence. And I will admit, I know it's bordering arrogance. So they can see that I'm admitting, to my faults and whatever. So it was very difficult at first because I used to put everything down to racism, which it wasn't racism. It was actually me not understanding their culture. Racism is still there, but at least now I can deal with actual racism as opposed to me having an attitude, what they call an attitude, where you think you want to put your face vex for everything. And, that don't go down very well at all. And as a black person, you already have the fact that you sound different. All those things there to deal with, where they just gravitate towards each other. There's this privilege, which it is there, this white privilege, because I used to work with women and they didn't have to do anything much for them to because the boss is, some middle-aged white guy, and for them, they go for a job interview and they just get it just like that. They giggle, and they get the job just like that. For you, you have to really be good. You have to sell yourself properly and all of that. So you already have those challenges. The last thing you need is coming with all sorts of attitude. And so, yeah.
Interesting. Yes, I kind of like your perspective on how to deal with it, especially coming from, a Caribbean country and the differences in culture and how you have to make the adjustments when necessary,
But so
what is Levie doing currently? What is Levie doing? Oh,
Levie's done so much. Levie is always busy. Levie is like, I'm into the corporate world, and my calling is still to be an entrepreneur. That we don't know. So right now I work in human resources. I work for a very big, governmental organization. Yeah, it's their organization. So I'm working in that. I've been in human resources for some time. Currently, I'm an advisor. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I also have, 1 year ago, I set up a business on Amazon. And it took me a lot of work. So that is what made me, tired. Because you're competing with like 1 million people that are selling on Amazon or more. And for you to get noticed, it's not easy, because this is not just, let me just open my little shop and sell whatever.
So what were you offering? What did this business focus on?
Whatever can sell. Whatever can sell. Okay. So that's why you look for opportunities. So you look, you search. It's always about just looking at what are the best sellers. what are the best sellers. You can sell products that are already there, like somebody has a manufacturer's product. You can take it and sell it. You can also do your own product. But even when you do your own product, doesn't mean that it's going to sell. Because what is making yours unique to the next person? You sell shea butter, another 200,000 people selling shea butter. Even if you put organic before the word, you narrow it down to 150,000 people. So 150,000 people will be doing organic shea butter. What you can do, my shea butter comes in, you can narrow it down to make it more eco-friendly. Oh, I'll put mine in a glass bottle. Because, so that is the sort of tip, I'll put mine in a glass bottle. So that will narrow it down significantly, because there'll be people that's just about preserving the environment. That's the sort of thing they're looking for. So it's not easy how people think. It's not just stick a product there and you don't do work. Everything in life is about hard work. I researched and researched and researched and researched. I would stay up late, 1 o'clock in the morning, researching, just reading. Sometimes I only take out 2 lines from all what I have read. And one page takes you to a next page, but then I have to work out, how to beat everybody else. And I wouldn't stop until I beat you. I won't stop. And not beat you, literally beat you. But I always say, if you can do it, what is stopping me? There is something I'm not doing, something you're doing and I'm not doing. And I will stop at nothing until I find it. And now I found it, and my Amazon is there. So right now they are sending all my stuff. And I can just follow my progress on my phone. And so that's a good business I've set up. I've also set up another a store. Is it Shopify or somewhere like that? Because I've got all these customers and I'm thinking it's still Amazon's platform. It's not mine. If there's a way I can direct them, so I'll now be putting my thing in my Amazon. So I've now started to set that up. But that's a headache, That is a headache. That's why I need somebody to help me. I just don't know. That's a headache. Honestly, I've been paying for that and it's not even set up yet because I have to drag this here, drag this there. I thought the thing would just say, welcome, Levie, what product, and just put it bang and everything just waiting for me. All kind of header boxes, all kind of this, all kind of... Nah, I can't do that. So
well, so is there some enjoyment for you in this though? Apart from the headache and all of that. So what is the area that you enjoy the most?
Well, I like to being able to be the master of my own success. So that is what motivates me. The fact that the sky is the limit. There's still more. You can, like I said, from Amazon, I'm trying to do this, so just the always challenging yourself. And I'm still working full time. My job is very busy. This is just a side thing. So I still have my main job. They are there right now. Even we are having a campaign. We're in Jamaica right now. My company, they were in Trinidad and Jamaica. So I have a full-time, very, very busy job, demanding job. And I'm able to do all that. So that's why when sometimes I have to slot that in when people say they work hard. You're doing, not to take away from people that do work hard. Let's say you're doing some NEP and you're shoveling something, and before 1, 2 shovel, am I back? I'm not killing myself. That is not what the definition of hard work is. You've done 2 things. Your back is hurting you because your back is not used to proper work. So your muscles move properly for a little while and they start. So do it more. Eventually your body is just going to be programmed to know that you have. Just use that as an example. It could be any job. Okay, you have to put in the hours. You do have to sometimes feel really, really tired because that's the only way you're going to get results. And once you start getting the results, your work gets less. Because you come up with a program, a way of doing things. And that's why you have to be smart. In everything you do, you have to be smart. So even in my own job, when I was feeling really, really tired, I said, what am I going to do? And I asked for several screens, even small things. I asked for more screens because moving one thing and opening another tab on the same, although I had 2 screens, it wasn't enough. But with a 3rd screen, I could drag things from one to the next, just drag it from one thing. And it made my life so much easier. So I have to slot that in there, that hard work is key to achieving success.
All right. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention very early, Gordon Henderson said that. He's your cousin.
He's my very close cousin. I always both. Gordon is a very close cousin of mine. Gordon will tell you. Gordon and my dad, used to sort of live together for a while. Gordon's grandmother is my father's mother's sister. Gordon knows it, so he's like my second cousin. That's why when I was talking about Convent, Gordon's daughter and Natasha, we are very close, but I didn't call her name because she's not a friend. She's my family. So,
okay.
yeah. So what is Gordon saying? Hi, cuz.
No, very early he told me that you all are related.
Oh, he said that?
Yes, he told me that very early this morning.
Oh, I thought he was
I
there
just
on the
forgot to
program.
mention that.
Oh, well,
So
he
now-
is. I just told you.
He always listens, by the way. He always listens.
Oh.
Nigel, by the way, talking about listening, I'm looking at the Facebook page, a lot of comments. Nice, thank you. I haven't seen Snapper and Alvin Thomas.
I haven't seen Alvin
we're
Thomas.
talking about
yes, Alvin is one of our regulars. We haven't seen him this
regular.
morning.
Oh, they don't like me.
not sure
Maybe
whether
they don't
as
like
well.
me.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Snapper Laura and Alvin Thomas, and some others.
Yes, we haven't seen them, but we have all other regulars that's always there, Kofi and Winnie and Muriel and Roslyn, So definitely, good morning again to all of you guys. Levie, in terms of, do you have any connections with other Dominicans in England? Are there associations over there? Do you guys meet up and do anything? Anything cultural? What's going on out there in England?
Well, I've been a bad person with that. I am supposed to be in a group with Esther Fidel Morris. Yes, we're supposed to be doing something together. And there's other people on there as well. But because since I started this whole side business, and so I find myself not being able to attend the meetings, I'm not giving it as much as I should. But I'm waiting for when something comes up, when they're doing something that I know that I'm really good at, that I don't need, I can just come in and just say, okay, this is even if it's a suggestion or whatever or something I can do. So I wouldn't say that I'm still very much part of the group, except I'm not actively doing what they're doing now. Maybe when they come up to October, I will get more active with them, sort of.
But do you think though that in terms of the connection of Dominicans when they leave Dominica, that it's important that they continue to have that link wherever they are to kind of lean upon each other?
Of course it is, because you're in still another man's country. That's all, and if unity brings strength. And then not only that, because remember, Dominica is a dot. Not being funny, Dominica is a dot on the map. That's what I mean. So if you can have a collective voice, it's a lot stronger than one person here, one person here, one person there. It's better to come together as a group. And also, there's this thing about, how they call it? Diversity, so everybody bringing their bits to the table. It makes you stronger as well. You pool your resources. Yeah, you pull your resources together.
Yeah, I looked you up on Facebook, and is there a Nigeria connection?
Hey,
I read something. So tell us about that.
Hey, of course there's a Nigeria connection. What you talking about?
So tell us about that connection. If you can speak the language,
I have
go
loads
ahead,
of
my girl.
Yeah. The connection is I have loads of Nigerian friends. Okay, the connection. I'm married to a half Nigerian, but let's call it a full Nigerian. So I'm married to a half English, half Nigerian person. And I love the fact that he's taken his Nigerian culture. Sorry, I'm not going to go into my husband so much, but the connection is because I am so passionate about Black culture and history. So I just want to use that opportunity to say that my husband, he could have chosen his white side. He could have to highlight that side. But instead, he's gone for the Nigerian side. Irrespective of all the negative things that come with being a Nigerian person. And that shows, again, when you love yourself, it works so good in England. When people see that you love, you're promoting Nigeria, you're promoting it's like suddenly all what they were saying, they have to eat their words, because sometimes people look down on you because they think that you're looking down on yourself. You see, so if you don't love yourself, other people won't respect you. And my husband is very much into the Nigerian thing, and by nature, it wasn't even because of him I got into, Africa, just because of my country. I am proud of who I am, and that includes my ancestry. I didn't just fall off the sky and just land into Dominica. Some great grandparents who would most likely be Africans, possibly Nigerians, had my mom and dad on something, their children who eventually got to my mom and dad. There might be a little mixture here and there along the way. So because of that, I do respect, I respect Nigeria, and in fact all the countries in Africa. Because it's the motherland. So I was very happy to have had that opportunity. I've actually even bought a piece of land in Nigeria, where maybe somebody in Dominica will say, oh, why are you wasting your time there? I don't see it like that. I tend to look at the world with an open mind, an open mind. And Nigerians are very educated. The ones that I surround myself with, they're very educated. A lot of what I have learned have come from my interaction with Nigerian people. I admire them. I love their country. I love their culture. I love their accent. I love everything about, there's things that I don't like, even with Doominica, there's certain things that I would like to see changed. But I think it's a black problem. I don't think it's just Nigeria. We do have the same issues in Doominica. We do have it's not as magnified, because Doominica, with its population of maybe not even a village, a little piece of a village in Nigeria, compared to 160 million people, you're going to have how many million times more of that problem. So it gets magnified. And so I just really hate when people put down Nigeria. It really cheeses me off, if that's a word to use. I'm trying to substitute the word for what I really want to say. So it really ticks me off. Yes, what I really want to say. When they start with their Nigerians are this, Nigerians are that. I don't like that, because my children are half Nigerian, So, and my children are not like this. They are very proud to be part of that country. And their friends come in there. Their friends are so educated, And I'm thinking, what Nigerians they are talking about? Because the ones I see, if you surround yourself with them more, maybe we have the wrong ones coming into Doominica. Could be we have the wrong ones coming in. What they see, it's probably, I don't know. But the Nigerians I know, they're good. Yeah.
No, we have a lot of Nigerians in Doominica. A lot of them are going to school and doing well.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Yeah, I could say that.
Okay, so good.
Levie Beaupierre, our guest this morning on Connected the Dots, Nigel. Tell me.
A lot of food for thought, a lot of ideas, a lot of advice, a lot of suggestions. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Levie, I'm not sure if you've heard Connecting the Dots before, if you've been part of the program where we try to link up Dominicans. But as we wind up, as we end up, on Connecting the Dots today, we hope that you continue listening on the Saturday whenever you're able to.
Your show is very interesting.
The time difference, of course, but we certainly hope you can continue listening and sharing. So just general, your thoughts on a program like this, Connecting the Dots, what do you think, just as we kind of close up?
Well, look at that. Like you said, it gives people an opportunity to express themselves openly. I like that. And you have a nice, relaxed atmosphere. I would recommend your show to anybody. Your guys are great. And it's not because when the first day I spoke to Ivona, I liked her. Now I'm seeing Nigel. I had forgotten Nigel. I like what I see. And it's a great format. And I would say anyone who wants to come on Connect the Dots, please do. Well recommended by me. Top show. Tops. 10 out of 10.
Well, look at Ivona. We good to go.
We good to go, Tan. I think his mind knows you're going to get long there.
Let's hope we get a lot of listeners. And anyone that missed it today, spread the word. Oh, Levie was on Connect the Dots and da-da-da-da-da. And she had all kind of things to say. And from that, Connect the Dots is going to be like a very popular show from now on. If it's not popular already, that's going to be the number one show on DBS.
All right. So, Nigel, very interesting. We learned about Salisbury and 12th Street, Kenfield and La Plaine, and then England and Nigeria.
I was waiting.
It's interesting we start from Salisbury, we end up with Nigeria. You see the connection?
I was waiting for Nigeria.
That's how we do Connecting the Dots,
Yes, I tell you. We weave a tapestry. But it's time to end. It's time to end. I really enjoyed it. When I saw Levie here, in fact, I did not remember who she was. Although, I saw her and I'm like, but I know this person. And we are talking. I'm saying I know this person. And then, I ask her, And then she tell me who she was. I was like, oh my goodness, man, we need to have you on. We need to have you on. We can make arrangements to bounce of the person we had decided to have on today and bring you on, and let it work like this. So I'm really happy that you agreed, and I really enjoyed the program. Right,
Thank you.
Nigel. Nigel. Somebody gave me something for you. It's on my vehicle. Someone where there's a tamarind ball and gooseberry. Nigel, taking it.
No. You're not doing that to me again today.
I not even giving
a public announcement. Please don't give her one of those things to me because she's keeping it for herself. All right? When you have it, just hold it. I will tell you how to get it to me. Okay? Don't give it to her. Thank you.
Just check me. Bring it for me, Tan. But that's it. So we'll meet again next week, God willing. All the best. You're here still. I'm leaving Doominica for some time.
Yes, I've got a few more days. So
okay, you go on the beach. You go into the river.
Tell me about it. I'm gonna go to that in my background. I'm definitely gonna go there.
Sure,
it's one of my favorite spots. I just like crossing over Atlantic there. I just like doing that.
All right.
Yeah.
Enjoy, my girl. All the best to you. You take care.
Thank you.
So Nigel, we'll meet again next week, God willing.
Yes, we'll link again next week. Have a good week, my dear, and we'll link up again next week Saturday to connect.
Sure. All right. Take care now.
Take care.